Time to re-up YouTube. Your boy Young Mustard is back with another video, and I'm here to talk about Jordan Poole. Let's just cut to the chase. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I've been waiting to make this video for a pretty long time after the finals ended last year, because even though the Warriors were my pick to win the championship against the Celtics, I was intrigued and concerned about what the future held for Jordan Poole, especially after watching a postseason where he was unplayable.
Hey chat, y'all remember that Jordan Poole quote? Yo, they got me like Curry out there, man. I ain't gonna lie.
At times. And when Draymond punched him in the face in the offseason, it made my level of concern rise even higher.
I haven't seen that clip in a minute, bro. That's so crazy, yo.
And when Draymond punched him in the face
in
the offseason,
listen here, bitch. Yo,
made my level of concern rise even higher. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Jordan Poole is a bad player, but I definitely think that if you want to point the blame at one person for the demise of the Warriors this season, with their inability to make it back to the finals or even make it to the finals for the first time of their playoff career under Steve Kerr, I think the person you gotta look at is Jordan Poole. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely a lot of issues with this roster, but a lot of these problems can be tied back to the fact that they invested so much in their young players, primarily in Jordan Poole. The Warriors this season offensively were one of the better teams in the NBA, finishing top 10 in both points per game and offensive rating.
I saw someone tweet this out, and in my opinion, it's so fucking true, and I do agree with it. If there's one archetype in the NBA that I have grown to hate, it is the guard / forward that literally cannot do anything but score the ball, and when you're not scoring, you are literally useless on the court. Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, Tyrese Maxey, low key. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit is getting it, and they keep on getting paid. That's the thing. They keep on getting paid, bro. And I'm not even talking about a sharpshooter type of role. I think there's always gonna be, but I'm talking about I need the ball in my hands to be as effective as possible, and I can spot up here and there type of shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about though, like for real, like for real. Jordan Poole, Tyrese Maxey, Tyler Hero, Russ. I can't even put Russell Westbrook in there. I need more names though. I need more names. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of some but what I'm saying is though, shot creators that are just shot creators can't even play defense, bro. Let me look up some names. Like, imagine if Jamal Murray couldn't pass. Like that type of shit, bro. Not Trae Young. Trae Young is too good of a playmaker to be in this conversation. Emmanuel Quickley is one of those players. Terry Rozier is one of those players. Jordan Clarkson, Lou Will, Bones. That type of shit, bro. That type of shit.
And a lot of that really was in spite of Jordan Poole's underperformance throughout the entire regular season. Despite a career high in his points per game, Poole saw a setback in his efficiency to a large degree, going from 45% from the field to 43%, and now shooting below league average from 3 on the most amount of attempts in his career with nearly 8 a game. He was still a relatively decent scorer for the most part, because being a 20-point per game scorer on league average efficiency is still valuable in this NBA. Unfortunately though, the box score doesn't represent everything when it comes to an offensive player. Poole is definitely a net positive offensively, but not.
Hey, y'all getting that Young Mustard's voice. You know what it is though, chat, and this is what I said on Souls and Sage videos. A lot of NBA YouTubers, when they try to make their videos, they try to put on that objective, I'm an analyst, I'm the most objective person in the room type voice. I'll say right now, Mustard is definitely the worst at that, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Because I watch his pod. I've had conversation with him in these spaces. He is not this, I'm the most unbiased person. This motherfucker definitely got his biases, and he can be much more energetic. But because he's trying to play that whole even keel, I got facts to bring up type shit. Like, nah, bro. Low-key does that too. Low-key does that too. Down 2K talks the same in whatever instance. Swish out a little bit. Swish out is pretty good at like keeping it natural type shit. But nah, man. Mustard makes me laugh at that though, cause I know for a fact if we was just having a conversation, like it would be a completely different tone.
The way that his 20-point per game average is going to suggest. He has a lot of flaws in his game on that side of the ball that some people choose to ignore to talk about because they want to talk about.
Me too. I'll say that. Me too. When I was doing those essay videos, like I didn't talk the way that I'm talking right now. It was a lot of, this is my voiceover voice and I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible so that y'all know that I'm speaking facts and nothing but facts and that I'm unbiased. And, you know what I'm saying? And this is where objectivity succeeds type shit. Like,
about the defensive end, and trust me, we're gonna get there. But
it's cool though. It's cool though.
Those offensive flaws.
Let's talk about Jordan
For
Poole.
starters, the inconsistencies in his game are through the roof. He could have a play. I'm not talking about a game. I'm talking about a specific play where he can do a nice dribble combination, get by his man, a sidestep three from behind the arc. It just feels like any type of shot you want, he can give it to you on any given play. Unfortunately, though, literally on the next play, he could have a banana peel turnover.
It's just fun to like
off his leg, or he tries to throw it to somebody and it hits the 7th row in the crowd. That's how inconsistent he is on a play-to-play basis. Now imagine on a game-to-game basis or just stretches throughout the entire season. The IQ from Jordan Poole offensively is truly low at times. He'll come down the court in transition, pull up from 3. He'll take the deepest sidestep 3s at times. He just doesn't really have awareness of the situation. In a sport like basketball where momentum matters so much and the Warriors were in so many close games because of how weak their defense is and how strong their offense can be on a night-to-night basis, it was a killer for this team on so many nights. But honestly, the offensive inabilities were one thing, but the defensive problems were a whole other thing. When I tell you guys that Jordan Poole is actually one of the worst defenders that I've laid my eyes on this season, I'm not lying to you. He is a bad, horrendous defensive player.
I'm not even gonna lie. These lowlights aren't even doing justice, or I don't even know if justice is the right word, of like how bad he was in the series. Cause this, like, these lowlights show the plays where he gets off space and like creates enough space for him to get a shot off, and it's just a miss. There were a lot of plays where Jordan Poole was trying to get his shit off and he was just getting clamped the fuck up. Could not even create space, could not even get the shot off. He was just getting clamped the fuck up, bro. Either clamped the fuck up or he just couldn't create space. Shit was nasty. Shit was nasty, yo.
There is not a single positive thing that Jordan Poole brings on the defensive side of the ball. His rotations are very poor. He is not good in the pick and roll. He can't fight over screens properly whatsoever. He's not a very physical or strong upper-bodied player, so people can target him in the post in these one-on-one situations, especially if
he was getting targeted.
I think the more egregious part of Jordan Poole's defense has to be off the ball. Because to be fair, he doesn't even have the build to be a great on-ball defender. I mean, we've seen someone like Steph Curry, who on the ball has not been great throughout his entire career, but off the ball he has been able to make an impact in multiple seasons. And a lot of that just comes down to effort, IQ, knowing where you need to be at the right time. In the case of Jordan Poole, he simply does not have that. The man ball watches all the time whenever he's off the ball. He allows backdoor cuts, lobs. At a certain point in time, this is really an effort thing. Crazy. It has nothing to do with physical tools. He just does not show enough effort on that side of the ball at all. Because being Being a good or at least a decent passable off-ball defender is not about your athleticism. Sure, it can definitely help
It's
and
literally
aid
just
you
about
on that side of
positioning
the
and
ball,
IQ.
but we've seen players have the most athletic builds in the league and they still are not good off-ball defenders because of their
What is he
own
doing?
IQ or their own effort. Poole simply doesn't show effort on defense, and that's who he is as a player at this point, which leads me why I believe he is most responsible for potentially ruining a dynasty in Golden State.
And you know what makes it worse about this archetype too? These aren't all-time great scorers. It would be one thing if you're, I don't know, like Allen Iverson out there, right? It'd be one thing if even Kemba Walker, because I know Isaiah Thomas, or Cool Bro just said Isaiah Thomas. It'd be one thing if you're such a great scorer that you're averaging 28 a game on a team with like barely any spacing. Like what IT was doing in 2017 is not like the same as what Tyler Hero is doing. They're like just 18, you know what I'm saying? Like 16 to 19 point per game scorers that, again, don't play defense, aren't that good of a playmaker, and aren't that good of a passer. But there's a difference between that and a 2017 Isaiah Thomas, I think a 2018, and maybe even 2017, like Kemba Walker, and that type of player, bro. Bleak Superior for $5 says, watching Poole on the offensive side is frustrating to watch. There's plays where he literally charges at the basket and throws the ball at the rim. That's tough. He was looking like Russell Westbrook out there too. No cap.
Now, I know many people are going to hear that and say, what about the others? Because there are other problems with this team. Well, like I said earlier, I firmly believe that every other problem you can name still ties back to Jordan Poole somehow. Let's start off with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is pretty suspect
Klay Thompson
right now. After
is
some horrible
also in the
performances
archetype,
against
bro.
the Lakers and throughout the whole playoffs, to
He's
be
not
quite
that
honest
two-way
with you,
boss
Klay is
he used
probably
to be,
at the
bro.
lowest point in his career ever since he became an all-star caliber player. He's regressed defensively, and offensively, he's as inconsistent as he ever has been. And it's not like he's great at getting to the rim, dribble penetration, anything when it comes to self-creation. He is not your guy. And when we talk about just lack of awareness, my goodness, Klay Thompson has that down pat. There were so many times
I understand
in this
injuries are
series
involved,
or
but
in
he's
this playoffs
whatever the
where I
player
saw
he
Klay
is
Thompson
whatever
with
the player
ball
he
and
is.
I was frightened at what he was gonna do. Whether it's threes from the hash mark for no reason, shooting over double teams, hard hedges, it's insane the type of shots that Klay Thompson will throw up there throughout the course of a game. But despite how bad Klay Thompson was at points in the playoffs and even regular season, who was the player that they invested into to fill in those gaps that Klay Thompson left as a player? Because we already knew Klay Thompson was on the decline. I mean, even though he was able to contribute in the playoffs last year, it's not like he played that exceptional. The man was coming off of back-to-back season-ending injuries, the worst ones you could have actually, an ACL and an Achilles tear. Jordan Poole was paid in part to be that supporting piece to keep getting better and rise to all-star stardom while Klay Thompson was in decline. So in simple terms, they basically brought in Jordan Poole and paid him the amount of money that they paid him in the offseason because they wanted him to be the co-star to Steph Curry. Basically replace Klay Thompson's role on this roster. And if anything, even supersede Klay Thompson in some ways offensively as a self-creator that Klay never was. Then you throw in their bench. Their bench was an issue throughout the entire season, primarily defensively.
Tough finish.
I mean, their bench was so bad on the defensive side of the ball that they had to go out there and get Gary Payton again. Their starting lineup defensively was basically okay. They had Kevon Looney that was playing well at the rim. You have Draymond Green, who's one of the best defenders in the world, and Andrew Wiggins, still one of the better perimeter defenders on the wing. But
hot take, I never liked Klay's J. It just looks like hella stiff and square. I'm not saying it's a bad jump shot or anything, but motherfuckers gas it up. Yo, this the most perfect looking jump shot ever. Steph Curry's jump shot's better. You know what I'm saying? Kobe's jump shot's better. I was about to say Tatum. I can't even say Tatum, bro, because it's the same thing. It's like so square, you know? Who else? Ray Allen. Ray Allen's jump shot is better. I personally like Paul George's jump shot better. I don't know, man. Kyrie is also up there. It just looks too robotic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's textbook, I understand the whole argument of like, yo, it's textbook perfect. But prettiest, I don't know if it's the prettiest, man. I don't know if it's the prettiest. No, y'all switching up on me now, chat. Because the whole argument was that, is Klay's jump shot pretty or not? And now y'all want to take it about being robotic. All right, bro.
Fortunately, the bench was so bad on the defensive side of the ball, it was insane. Dante is a solid defender on the perimeter, but he's nothing special. Kuminga's athletic, but his IQ definitely comes into question. Moses Moody wasn't great defensively for a good chunk of the season, even though I like the effort at times.
I'm trying to bring
up the chat, Don't get me started on
bro.
players like Anthony Lamb, Ty Jerome, or even the time they spent with James fucking Wiseman. That dude sucks. So off rip, the bench supporting pieces defensively are not great. But guess who was one of the worst ones there, and you could argue the worst defender on that bench? Jordan Poole. Poole was basically supposed to at least be decent defensively this year, or at least show some type of strides, and if not, offensively make up for it in a major way, which he did not do. Now I know some people are gonna say, what about the other young guys? You got James Wiseman, who was clearly garbage this year, they had to ship him to Detroit, and you got Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, those two wings that didn't really take the step forward that a lot of people hoped for. And to that, I can understand those complaints, but I would say that Jordan Poole does have somewhat of a responsibility in that. Poole was supposed to lead the bench unit, and if we're being real here, he did not do that effectively. I mean, at the end of the day, he can't hold their hands, but he didn't put them in the right positions to succeed when they shared the court together, because not only did he show a lack of effort defensively, but offensively he had an issue of getting others involved and kind of being a ball hog at times. I mean,
Listen, I can pretty much stop it right there. I'm still pretty high on Jordan Poole. With that being said, with even with all the criticism I just gave him, I don't think it's a situation where it's, yo, trade Jordan Poole, bro, you got to be off the team type shit. It's also going to be pretty hard to ship him off with his trade value right now. But as a piece moving forward, though, for the franchise, I don't know if they're going to blow up they're probably not going to blow up the Curry, you know what I'm saying, type of shit, but the Curry Warriors, but I believe in honey, see you looking at me, I'm ready. I believe in my man Jordan Poole, man. You know what I'm saying? I've had a lot of takes of, yo, get this guy out of here, let's quit on him type shit. Nah, man. Let me get a not too much take. Not too much on Jordan Poole, bro. Not too much on Jordan fucking Poole.